Oh
Initiating
boy.
transmission.
All right. Good
Yeah, we're
morning,
live.
everybody. Yeah. Uh,
Okay, let me just check if we are okay in the webinar channel.
all right.
Oh yeah, we're online.
Excellent. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Let me go ahead and make sure I can see the channel as well. Whew.
Okay.
All righty. Webinar. Here we go. Everybody's hopping in. Good to see people joining. Welcome, everyone.
Okay. If our guests on the webinar channel can send us a confirmation that you guys can see us, that would be good. But YouTube is saying that we are online and I trust him.
Okay.
So great, Tom. You have the audience. It's all with you.
Fantastic. All right. Welcome, everyone. My name's Tom. I am the support and training lead for Rocket.Chat. Um, oh boy, talking about myself is always weird. I've been doing support for 12 years now, and I am happy to be doing this webinar to give you folks a quick look at Rocket.Chat, specifically the new user experience in Rocket.Chat. I'm going to go through, I'm going to make a brand new account on a local server, and we're going to take a look at the interface as it looks today, and basically just how to get around within Rocket.Chat. So let me go ahead and start by sharing my screen. I'm going to share my Rocket.Chat app. Okay. So you folks should be seeing my app right now. I'm going to go ahead and hop over to my local server. This looks the same as it would on the web. In general, the new user experience has them load the page or load it up in the app, and oh, there we go. There's a login here. Uh, if I need an account, I'm going to click on register a new account, which is exactly what I'm going to do. There are other ways to get people into your Rocket.Chat client. We've got all kinds of little plugins to authenticate with things like Facebook or Google, or even internal LDAP, Active Directory kind of things as well. If you've got a big enterprise set up, it's extensible. In general, it just uses its own local accounts. So I'm going to go ahead and make one. All right, we'll use my Rocket.Chat email. All right, nobody can see that, thankfully. Nobody can access this either. Let's see, what username should I use? Let's just be Tom. Why not? Okay. And here we are. This is the welcome page for my server. This is somewhat customizable. I haven't done anything with it just yet. And if I click on the left here, it says I am in the general channel with someone who looks a lot like me named Principal. Okay. I guess that's what I set up last night. This is the sidebar here. This is how everything keeps organized. It lists the channels that you're in and any private conversations you may have started or have been started with you. Those are called direct messages. We also have private groups. They're like channels, which, much like the webinar channel you're in right now, are available to everyone. Private groups you have to be invited to. Someone else would make them and invite you, or if you have enough permissions, you can make them yourself. I believe I should be able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and say hello to myself, basically. I can also insert emoji. We have all kinds of ones hiding out in here. I haven't used any. What we got for animals? I'll put a little dog in there. There's a dog. And there's also some basic formatting. You can see the buttons down here. I have bold, italic, strike through, drop in inline code if you're developers sharing information. And if you wanted to have a multi-line message, you can do that as well. It's the old control enter trick that I use on Facebook all the time to create walls of text for my friends to read. So let's see. This is italic. This is bold. I could either use these buttons down here to make that happen. You'll see what happens when I push those buttons is it surrounds it with some markers. We're using kind of a modified, it's similar to Markdown. This is Slack's notation. You can turn on Markdown if you like. Well, there we go. When I actually send it, it's just like that. So this way nobody needs to actually know any codes. There's just buttons. I can also send a voice message if I wanted to, or attach a file from my computer. I may as well do that just so we see what that looks like. I'm not sure what that is. I can't send that file. Okay, I have that blocked. What don't I have blocked? Probably pictures, if I had to guess. Or maybe I can send a text file. Let's try that out. Yep, there we go. These are some meeting notes. And that file will upload. At least I think I will. I may not have configured that properly for my server. But this will upload, and soon it should be visible everywhere in the chat. I don't have anything else going on over here right now, so I'm going to go ahead and make that happen. Let me click on this handsome man over here, and I'm going to start a conversation with him. That's one of many ways to start a direct message. I can also search for people using this button here. Right now, there's only one other person on this server, so that's all I'm going to find. I can also check in the directory, which will list channels and users available. You see Rocket.Chat on here. That's a user added by default to help manage things from bots and other plugins. I don't have any of that set up right now, but Rocket.Chat is there. I can also message Rocket.Chat. It won't do anything. Hello, Robot Cat. It won't respond. I don't have it set up to do anything right now, but we have all kinds of integrations. If you check out our GitHub, there's all kinds of fun stuff you can do with bots on our site. Maybe we'll do a webinar about that down the line. I can also message this principal guy. Hello, principal. Nice hair. And since I'm in a direct message, only myself and principal can see it. Right now it says that principal's offline, which means that he will see this when he fires up Rocket.Chat on his own end, which is the Windows computer I have sitting on the other side of the room. Let me hop back into the main channel. There's still nothing going on in here. I can close out this sidebar here. Let me show off this sidebar while I'm in here. We've got an info button that will tell me information about the room. I don't have a description or an announcement in there, but I should be able to add a description. What do I have here? We have slash commands, as you may have seen in other chat products. I'll just put that in there because that's kind of fun. Since I don't run the room, it doesn't look like I can set the topic. I can leave this room if I wanted to. You can pretty much leave any room in Rocket.Chat if you so choose. I can also search through the messages in the room. It even supports regular expressions if you're so inclined. But you can also just use full text. I can always search for bold, and it'll show me that message. So there's not a lot in there. If there's a few more messages, it might take a little bit more time to find what you're looking for, but not much. I can also see the members list. That'll tell me who else is in the room. There we go. I click on show all members. It shows me everybody who's online. and everybody who's a member of the room. I can look at a files list. This still hasn't uploaded, so I'm going to cancel that. I think I have a little bit more tweaking to do on my server. And we also have a nice dotted menu here where I can look at every @mention. If I want to say @principal, what's up? Nobody's mentioned me just yet, which is why that's not showing up on the list. I imagine I could mention myself. Hey. I don't know if it counts because I tried to mention myself. Starred messages. If something's important, you can star it. I will star that message using the disclosure there. Let me go starred messages. There's that. It's kind of like favoriting items for things you want to take a look at later. We also have pinning, which I believe pins it for the entire group. So I can pin this one if I wanted to. Maybe I can't. It looks like I don't have enough permissions in this room to do that. I'll make my own room in just a moment. I can also start a video chat. It's using the same technology I'm using now. It's built into the core Rocket.Chat. I believe it just needs to be ticked on in the settings. And then you can start a video chat in a general channel, or you can start a video chat in a direct message and just be talking to folks. I can also set up my notification preferences for the room. Do I want alerts on my desktop? Do I want to receive all mentions for at all and at here, which basically mentions everyone? Hey. See, that turns nice and purple, and everybody in the room will get a notification for that if they're set up for notifications. I can also set up mobile and email preferences for this as well. All relatively straightforward kind of stuff, but we won't get too far into the weeds for this demonstration. Let me go ahead and make a channel. I believe I can do that. So if I go over to the directory and I hit the plus button up here, I can make a new channel. I can make a private channel that only includes invited users. I can make a read-only channel where I can authorize people to write new messages. I can also make a broadcast channel that says authorized users can write new messages, but the other users can reply. They just can't make new messages. I'm just going to make a regular private channel for right now. So I'm going to call this the Clubhouse. And I'll invite Principal. And there we go. Now I've got a private group. If anyone else were to join this server, they wouldn't be able to see inside this group. They wouldn't even know it's there, really. I would have to invite them in order for them to get in. This is where we discuss the juicy stuff. I could also make a regular channel if I wanted to as well, just a regular public one that everyone can access. I just have to turn that off there. Party room. And I'm not going to invite anybody. If anybody wants to join the party, they can. And since this is my room, I can now add a description for the room. Topic. Party ideas. Party on Friday at Tom's place, where we talk about party stuff. I can also change the nature of the channel if I wanted to, but I want to keep this public. So I've made my edits. And there we go. The topic I created just posts in here, party ideas, and it will show up in the room info as well, so everybody can see it there. The description lives up here and also shows up when you change it in the room. And the announcements live up here. Looks like my Apostrophe didn't escape properly. I probably have to fix that on my own. But you can post announcements similar to the one we have right there in the webinars channel to let you know what's going on. There we go. I made a new room and added some info to it. Anybody can join this room. I just did a whole lot really quickly. I think it's a good time now to see if anybody has any questions about what I just did. Feel free to post them in the channel there, or yeah, I guess post them on the channel. All right, not seeing anything just yet. Feel free to send those in. I'll stop and check for questions from time to time. Let's see what else I should go over. Let me hop back out of open. Some more customization aspects, I guess we can do. I can change how things look over here. I can do an extended view by using the view mode button, choosing extended. Alrighty. This shows the last message in each room, the last message in each chat, and the time that it was sent. The medium view is the default view. It just shows the room name or who you're in the direct message with. You can also have a condensed view, which makes that a little bit smaller. If you have a lot of channels and groups and messages, that can help tidy things up a little bit. I can also hide all the pictures there by doing hide avatars. Just leave that a medium for now. I can also sort this. I can sort this alphabetically, which it already is. Ooh. I can sort by activity. The last channel I posted in was party room, so that jumps to the top. Favorites. I can also favorite rooms. I will favorite the party room. That's hiding under the disclosure dots here. I can unfavorite. I can mark everything in the room as unread if I have messages backed up. I can also hide the room if I don't want to see it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and hide general. Hide it. I can always go back and find it using the directory if I wanted to. And I can see the room again. I didn't leave it. I just hid it so it's off the table for a bit. And you also have the ability to leave rooms as well. I can hide direct messages if I need to. I can favorite direct messages as well. And if I turn on group favorites in sorting, it'll pull everything I've favorited up to a special category up here. This is real handy. I have a number of groups that I have to look at for Rocket.Chat, some of which I have to spend more time looking at than others. I favorite those rooms, and they're readily available at a glance for me. I can also sort it so that any room with an unread message shows up on top. That might be a little bit easier. So I've actually got all three of these turned on as well. Let me switch back to alphabetical sorting, and it will handle these groupings as things come in. I can also use this button here to make a new channel. That does exactly the same as the plus button in the directory did. Cancel that out there. If I click on my little user icon here, if there's a gravatar found for the email address you use, the default is to use that gravatar. Administrators can turn that off, but users can also upload their own picture. From here, I can also set my status. I'm going to set myself to busy because I'm talking to you folks. I can also make myself invisible, which means that people think I'm offline, but I'm really doing stuff as if I'm not even there. I can hop into my account here, and that pulls up a new pane over here. I can turn off whether or not I go auto away. The global settings are 300 seconds. We do the math on that. That is 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, it'll set me to auto away if I don't type anything. I can turn that off if I'm the kind of person who always wants to be available. Desktop notifications are turned on because I've set them up in here. I can test them. And I have do not disturb on, so it's being blocked. And it wouldn't show up on the stream anyway. How long the notification lasts, that's indefinite. That's the 0. And it says, what do you want to see notifications for? So I can change my personal items here. I don't like getting email, so I'm actually going to turn off offline email notifications. I'll just get push notifications on mobile once I set up over there. That'll make life quite a bit easier. I can change around message preferences here, whether or not I want ASCII characters to convert to emoji, etc., etc. A lot of very personal items here that can be changed. And these are the same items that can change with the buttons we looked at earlier. Highlight words. If there's something that people might be talking about in any room globally that you might want to hear about, this will give you a notification when those words are mentioned. Makes it a lot easier to find things that are important to you that way. I can also adjust the sounds for when new rooms or new messages happen and set the volume for them as well. And of course, because it's 2018, we've got a nice download my data and export my data button here, so users can just take everything they've put in right back out, because that's the world we live in today. If I go over to profile here, this is where we get to the fun stuff. I can change my username. I can be Toast Nose if I wanted to. That's the literal translation of my last name from what I understand. And I can change my picture. I can link to an image on the internet, or I can upload a picture. I'm sure I have one available. Let's take a quick look at my photos here. There's nothing incriminating in here. Let's use this goofy picture. Why not? There we go. Save changes. Now instead of just my initial, I'm going to have that as my profile picture. Take a quick look at the security tab. This allows you to turn on two-factor authentication. Authentication. There we go. You can tell it's almost the end of the week. I can turn on two-factor authentication authentication if I wanted to. I don't know how well I have that set up for my server. If administrators have that set up, really easy to set up, and that way I'd have to enter a code when I go to log in, similar to what you've seen on other apps. I'll jump back out into the world, and we can see that now my avatar is here, and everywhere I have posted, it has already updated my avatar. I may be able to as well. Let me take a quick look here. This button. I can set a password for rooms, and I can switch it to read-only as well. I can also archive a room, so if we're done using that room for something, we can archive it. That means no more new messages, but it's still available to look at. Looks like I can't set a room photo, but that's okay. I can unstar and star rooms from here to favorite them. See, it hops in and out of my favorites. Those are some additional customization options. Again, no matter where we are, the chat always works the same, and we always have the same options: video messages, audio recordings, starting video chats. OTR stands for off the record. In direct messages, you can use this to have encrypted messages back and forth. That may require some additional setup by admins. Usually if they're just securing the server properly, that should work okay. But I believe we have documentation for getting that set up. Again, maybe that could be a topic for a future webinar. It's a good time to pause. Okay. Solicit has asked, these are all the same features on an on-premise install? Yes, I'm actually doing an on-premise install. This server here happens to live on another computer in my room here. I live in New York City, and therefore I live in a single room. You can also, the cloud accounts work the same. We have free trials for cloud, so if you want to try it out without having to set up anything locally. You can do that, and then you can configure the server to your liking. A lot of the more stressful stuff like security and whatnot are already configured for cloud. You can try it free for 30 days. There's a link on our website. You can also just hop in here on open.rocket.chat, where everybody is right now, and try out the features here as well. There's just a lot of different things you can do. Everything I'm doing here works exactly the same on the web. The desktop applications have the exact same interface. We're starting to try some new things with the mobile apps to make them more tuned for mobile. So you can always try out our mobile apps with open.rocket.chat, or if you set up a cloud instance or a local setup, you might need to do a little bit of extra on the local setup. You have to have security enabled properly with HTTPS for it to work with the mobile app. But if you want to test out the mobile apps, see how they look, just hop in to Open and you can play with them there. Should probably do a webinar in the future on the mobile app interfaces that will require a little bit more setting up, so folks should be able to see that. But I'll keep that in mind. I think I can make that happen at some point in the future. All right. All right, if I set this up on my own server, how much freedom do you have to change the code? What language is it written in? Rocket.Chat is completely open source. We are under the MIT license, so you can make whatever changes you want and do whatever you'd like with the code. Rocket.Chat is based on Meteor, which is a JavaScript framework created by GitHub. If you head over to our GitHub, you can find all the source code. You can star it, you can fork it, you can do whatever you like with the code. You can even just look at it if that's the kind of thing you like to do. It's a great question there, Gary Gr. End users typically don't think about it, but sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, hey, what can I do with this stuff?" And they can just hop over to our GitHub and play around to their heart's content. We also have forums where you can interact with other developers, and folks also hang out here on Open if you want to find people to talk to. We have an extensive directory, all kinds of stuff. All right. No problem, Gary. I'm not seeing any more questions right now. I'm going to go ahead and take a look and see if there's anything else I want to show off right now. The search here only uses the sidebar, so you can search for rooms or people. And this is much handier when there's more than a handful of rooms and people on a server. Let me quickly demonstrate that on Open. I talk to a lot of people in the course of my job. So let's see, are there any rooms I need to look for? So like here's the support room, for example, and some other private rooms, which you didn't see those. No worries, seeing just names doesn't cause anything odd. So that's how search would work elsewhere. Maybe I'll be online again. That green dot is much more refreshing than the red one. Say that much. Okay. Anything else I want to show off in here? Oh, I can pin a message too. What can we do to make this party better? Since I own this room, I can pin the message. And when other people come in here and they look at pinned messages, which is probably a good practice, whenever you join a new room that's been established, take a look at the pinned messages. You can see what the person who runs that room thought was important. And there we go. I believe I can also invite people. Let me add principal to the room. And then, since I own this room, I can look at the members list, show everybody, and I can give people different roles within a public room. I can set them as the leader or the moderator. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure what the difference for each is. Right now, owner as default, so we are both owners. And that means they have the same privileges I have. Leaders, I believe, can add people, and I think that may be it. Moderators, I'm not sure. We're going to do what one does in support when they're not sure. They look it up. That's the real secret. People ask me all the time how I'm able to fix so many things, and most of it just comes down to I know how to look it up. So, moderator. There's a lot of API stuff for this. We may need some more documentation on that because every channel has an owner. Good to know. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to make a note of that, and we're going to make sure that ends up posted somewhere because that's important. All right. You learn something new every day. Or in this case, you don't learn something new and want to make sure it's learnable. Let me hop back over here. Integrations with Google Docs. I don't know if we have a proper plugin for that. I think someone may be working on that. I think once our app platform is ready, it'll be a lot easier to set that up. It's simple enough just to drop things in. You can also use Google Drive as file storage for uploads. That's an option that's built into the code. And that way, instead of storing everything on your local server, it can store everything in like a group Google Drive or something to that effect. How do chatbots work? Let me see if I can talk to Rocket.Chat over here and see if it does anything. Hello. All right. I'm not exactly sure what Qbot items we have set up on here because I am not the bot guy. Qbot bot.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? Just, if you don't mind, I'm jumping in. We have
Go right ahead.
We have a Hubert channel, if you
Hubert.
can access that.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a Hubert channel.
There we go.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
There he is, and he's online.
Okay.
Okay, so just try Hubert help.
Okay. There we go.
There you go. So that's Hubert in his natural form. Hubert has this main command called help, where you can get a lot of commands, and you can set up your own scripts by using the Hubert scripts on GitHub or making your own repository. And we also have, let me check if he's online, we have Catbot.
Catbot, that's right.
Catbot, but he's offline right now. Probably lunchtime for him.
Okay. Even robots got to eat too.
Yeah. Catbot is the natural language processing Hubert that we've set up to be live chat attendant. Yeah, I don't know if
the images might be unhappy right now.
Try sending again. Try sending it again, because I think when you edit a comment, he doesn't listen.
Okay.
Okay. No, it does listen.
Yep. All right. That one doesn't seem to be working. Let's try. Oh, there we go. Something's wrong with the Google Search API, image search API, or whatever.
Yeah.
Does Hubot understand the rules? Let's see. That's what it told me to type. There we go. Yes. It knows the 3 laws of robotics.
That is very important.
Which are apparently 4 laws, yes. That's good. That way, it's a good thing our robots know the rules. We're not going to have any Skynet situations here.
Yeah,
So just about, if I'm not mistaken, just about anything you can do with Hubot, you can run it through the adapter and use it in Rocket.Chat, so long as your Hubot is set up properly, and we have documentation for that.
that's true.
We got a question in there about security. Um, in general, like, we recommend setting up every server with HTTPS and SSL. We've got documentation in our installation setups for that. Um, Encryption, we have the off the record things set up. We have documentation about encryption in there. We're working on making that a lot more robust, especially now as we live in a world with blockchain. There are other people at Rocket.Chat who would be much better to talk about these kind of things. I'm the kind of guy who's around in case anything breaks. Um, Security and encryption is, I leave that to the developers in general, but they will probably be able to do some webinars about that in the future. We should probably have a good security and privacy webinar in the future. There you go. As the real mentioned, yes, off the record is end-to-end encryption um, for direct messages, and we're looking at doing more with things like blockchain to make this even more robust. Um, I don't know if Rocket.Chat works with Tor. That might be something for the future or for an app in the future. Let me take a quick look here. If there's anything about Tor. No mentions of Tor. Okay. And let's see
Yeah,
in the logs.
I don't think we have Tor like
Hmm.
built-in plugin
Hmm.
for Tor.
Hmm.
But if you set up a Rocket Chat server behind a Tor server, a Tor proxy, I think it would work fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Running some Rocket.Chat on the dark web.
Yeah, no, I mean it would be a real challenge because you have WebSockets to go through all
Yeah.
their proxies, and well, wouldn't be the very best
Hmm.
architecture to run it for sure.
Yeah. And also on an anonymity, you can require email address verification if you want to, just to make sure you can communicate with people, but it's not necessary. Like, I don't have it on my local server, so I can just make all the accounts I want and it won't matter. I'm not sure about things with socks. What I'm going to go ahead and do is link our documentation page. A lot of these very high-end questions can likely be answered by checking our documentation, and I'm also going to post a link to our forums. That's a good place for further discussion and to see if anyone else has thought of the thing that you're thinking of and to discuss it with them. We've got a lot of great stuff going on over there because we have a wonderful community. All right. I think I've basically shown all the things that a user would want to do. Thus far, we're not going to get into administrative things too heavily today. Um, Diego, is there anything you'd like me to talk about, or?
I think that is it.
All right.
I would like to thank you all for coming up. We have a great audience today. We come up to 16 live viewers
Ooh,
at the same moment.
fantastic.
And I'd like to thank you, Tom, for the fantastic presentation.
Quite welcome.
And yeah, it was amazing. I think that we should do more than that.
Oh yeah,
We should
definitely. I'm
more
going to stop
like
sharing my screen. There I
security
am.
is one great
Yeah.
topic to talk about, I think. And maybe robots too. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys want to give a hint or want to say something in the channel. We are here at the webinars channel, and we would like to really listen to you guys.
Yeah.
And thank you all for coming. Don't forget to answer the survey about quality, and what we want to know what you guys thought about. this webinar. So we're gonna send you an email, right? Don't worry. Will be just one email asking you guys to answer some forms and say yeah that you loved us and you want more webinars. All right. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, everybody. Have a great week.
Great. Thanks. Bye bye, guys.